Hey expats, so we're finishing up our time in Istanbul and we want to give you a recap of how it's been so far.
We're going to break down the past couple of days and let you guys know what we've been up to, the things that we saw, the things that we liked, the things that we didn't like.
So we arrived in Istanbul and it was recommended to us to use Bus to get into Taksim Square area, and it was really easy. It was cheap, easy to find just outside of the arrival area, and it didn't take very long. Traffic wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, it was really good. We walked from Taksim Square to our hotel. We were staying at the Mercure Taksim, and we got a pleasant surprise when we arrived there as we were upgraded to basically one of the best rooms in the hotel.
So we had a really great view of the river. We had this really big balcony. It was a really nice room.
Yeah, and we also had access to the executive lounge. Although it wasn't the best executive lounge in the world, we still had kind of free reign over that. We could go in and out getting coffee and snacks.
And the service at the hotel was really good.
Yeah, it was amazing. The people there were really, really friendly and kind and just, willing to please.
And then side note, it did rain a lot.
A ton.
And the good thing was they let you borrow or check out umbrellas, really nice big umbrellas. So that was very helpful because it's hard to travel with an umbrella and you might have a small one. And with the rain that was coming down, you definitely needed a big one. So that was a plus.
Yeah, so after we checked in, we waited just a little bit before the rest of our group arrived. And I had noticed as we were walking to the hotel, there was a restaurant that looked pretty decent, just on the same street. So we walked back up to the restaurant, went in, and we were kind of like overwhelmed, I guess, by the atmosphere. Super cool atmosphere, very, very nice view of the river. And we sat down, and then that's when it got a little awkward.
Yeah, they just brought this big tray of different appetizers, and they had it in the menu, but pretty much what you did is you just looked at something, you asked what it was, and you pointed, and they would bring a fresh one out.
So none of us really wanted to ask prices at first. We were all really reluctant to ask how much it cost. We just assumed that it would be a reasonable price, although the place looked super posh. But anyways, in the end, the food was amazing. We got the bill, and it wasn't too high. I think it's higher than most people might pay for food in Istanbul, but it wasn't too bad.
The place is called Ali, and it's in a couple different locations, so I would recommend it.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's probably one of the places that people should try out if they're in Istanbul and they've got the extra money. Yeah.
And then later that evening, we met up with Martel. He is the owner of ATH.
Yeah, Martel's a friend of ours from Saudi Arabia. We met him during our time there, and we have a couple interviews with him, and now he's an expat that's not teaching English, but he's just working as an expat with a coffee import business called Arabica Trading House.
And you can check out our video of all about that. We did a cupping with him one of the days, which was a really cool experience. If you don't know what a cupping is, then check out our video and you can get some more info, especially if you really like coffee.
Yeah, the caffeine buzz is just starting to wear off, fortunately.
Not for me.
So that's great. Yeah.
No, I mean, I drink more coffee than you, so.
I'm not used to it at all.
Yeah, it was really good, though.
So Martel got off of work and he decided, there was a place that he wanted to take us to for dinner. And we started walking with him as he explained things in the neighborhood. And we arrive at this elevator, and we had seen some signage that looked familiar. So the girls got sent up the elevator first because the elevator was super small, maybe 3 or 4 people could fit. And I think we were a group of 7 at the time. The girls went up, and then the guys crammed into the elevator. And that's when we realized he had taken us to
Ali, a different one.
Ali. So we had a good laugh about that. And he just said, listen, it's a place that I really recommend for people to go to. So it was quite ironic that the place we went to for lunch was the place he wanted to take us to dinner.
But then we moved on, and he took us to another cool place. And what was the name of that district?
The district is Karakoy. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Probably not. I think the R is like a D, so Karakoy. Karakoy. But he took us through Karakoy. It seems quite hipster, I guess.
Yeah. There were a lot of cool little bars, restaurants. Even though it was a little cool and rainy, people were still sitting outside in the kind of a covered part. And the place that we went had a retractable roof too. So when we got there, it was raining, so it was covered. And then the weather cleared up a little bit, and they moved it back, which was nice.
Yeah, we didn't stay out very late that evening. And then day 2, we woke up at a decent hour and then headed to Hagia Sophia, Blue Mosque, that little area.
The Basilica Cistern, that whole area is a great place to walk around. Lots of good food around there, lots of things to see.
Yeah, the tram ride or whatever took maybe 20 minutes from where we were, if that. It wasn't very long. I mean, we were all just kind of chatting and time passed really quickly. You get some really nice views from the tram as it crosses over the water. So that's really cool. I think everyone should travel by tram when you're there.
Easy to figure out, to pay and get on. So we got to the Hagia Sophia not doing any research, and it's closed because on Mondays it's closed.
Yeah.
So make sure if you're planning a trip to Istanbul that you plan around that so you can go into that. So we ended up going in another day.
Yeah. As we were standing around, actually, there was a guy that looked maybe some sort of European, and he started speaking to us in English, telling us that the Hagia Sophia was indeed closed on Mondays and that we'd have to come back tomorrow. And he said,
Come to my rug shop.
Yeah, he said, come to my rug
Of course.
shop. And it was pretty funny because I think Trevor was in the market for a rug, but we were a bit skeptical of this rug shop. And as we walked by the Basilica Cistern, we decided actually to head in there. And while we were in there, we kind of hatched a plan to lose this guy. And go out the exit.
Yeah.
And we didn't do a great job of losing him because we ended up passing back by him. So we went out the exit, trying to lose him, and I think maybe more or less it worked. I think he made eye contact with Trevor, but we ended up seeing him the next day anyways.
Yeah, that was awkward. When we went back to the Hagia Sophia, he saw us, and Trevor by that time had already bought a rug. Because after that area, we grabbed lunch and then we went to the Grand Bazaar. And then that's where Trevor bought a rug.
Yeah, we went to the Grand Bazaar. We spent probably an hour there, just kind of walking around in the labyrinth that is the Grand Bazaar.
Yeah, it's so big.
And after we did that, we decided to head towards the spice market. It's a decent little walk between the two, but wasn't too difficult. I think the biggest thing is the rain was kind of putting us off maybe a little bit from walking as much as we did, but it was fine.
And both are nice. They have different things, so
the spice market is much smaller, but I think the layout's far easier to deal with. It's like one straight shot more or less.
And the buildings inside are nice to see as well, so you can walk by and look at the shops, but then also the actual buildings are nice.
So after we got back to the hotel, we decided to chill out a little bit, clean up, and then we wanted to head to a hookah bar. I guess a few of us had hookah before, but not all of us. So we wanted to try that out.
It's really popular in Turkey.
Yeah, in the Middle East as well, right? We decided to head to a hookah bar that Martel recommended, and he said that he would meet up with us later on in the evening. So we went to a hookah bar called Cafe 8.
I think Cafe 8.
Yeah, we'll try to pull it up and put the link in the description below. But it was really good, actually. It was a pretty chill vibe. Prices were cheap. Yeah.
The next day, we went back to Hagia Sophia so that we were able to go in. Again, we saw the rug guy that day, which is a little awkward. But it was still nice walking around that area, the Blue Mosque, the fountains. We went into the Hagia Sophia. And I think probably my favorite part is we did a Turkish bath.
Yeah, we also did the cupping that we were talking about at Arabica Trading House then as well, which was one of the highlights for me, really. I thought that was really cool, getting to learn about the business more and then tasting coffees that I normally wouldn't taste. I realized that I prefer like Brazilian and Colombian coffee as opposed to Ethiopian or Kenyan, but it was a great experience.
And it's interesting doing a cupping. I guess you would just think that all you would do is just sip different types of coffee, but you don't. You smell it before the water goes in, and then, which is the dry smell, and then you do the wet smell after the water goes in, and then after it brews itself for a little bit, then you sip it with a spoon, but you kind of go like this, and then you spit that out, so you're not drinking it. So it's a really cool experience. Again, if you're interested, check out our video about ATH.
She learned a lot.
I did learn a lot.
The terminology and stuff. That's
I did learn a lot, and I love coffee, so it was actually really fun. Yeah.
Yeah. We did a fair amount of research on the Turkish baths, and we ended up finding one on TripAdvisor that was like in our price range, because I don't think any of us were really interested in paying 50, 75 USD to do a Turkish bath. So we found one that was pretty cool. And
it's been around for a while too, so and had really good reviews.
I think the oldest one in Istanbul,
something
continuous operation or something like that.
A little more, I think, local than
I would imagine
the touristy type Turkish baths, because there's one right by Hagia Sophia, and I would think that a lot of tourists go there, and it was way more expensive.
Yeah.
So this was just a little more of the local feel in the Taksim area, which was fine. It wasn't busy at all. When we got there, I think there were some ladies who had just finished, so we mainly had the place to ourselves.
Yeah, and the Turkish bath happened in the evening, and I think it put all of us like in a really relaxing state of mind. So that evening was really chill.
Yeah, I think it was good to do it in the evening so that you just chill. But if you don't know what a Turkish bath is like, definitely we would recommend it, because
it's cool.
It's just very different. You go in, you have your own little room. They give you these little wraps, I guess, and you can, whatever your comfort level is what goes underneath the wrap. I think for the most part people don't wear anything, and then you just go and you lay in these different types of rooms that are like kind of steam bath heated. There's lots of little water things around that you can splash on yourself. You lay on this hot marble, I guess it is.
Yeah,
and you just kind of relax for a little bit, and then eventually they come in and they take you. The girls, you go into a different room, and you have these ladies that wash you.
Yeah,
really, they have these.
They hit you with a pillowy loofah.
Yeah.
Strange. It's very hard to explain.
Yeah, they just kind of wash you and scrub you down and then rinse you off.
You got to experience it.
Yeah, and then they wrap you when you're finished. That you take off the wet wraps that they gave you, and they give you towels. So you just kind of wrap yourself with a towel. They wrap your hair, and then you sit out and you drink tea.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
A lot of fun. The next day was our time to leave, so we had some free time just in the morning to head to Kadikoy. Yeah.
So we took the ferry across the river.
So there's
one of the
Karakoy and Kadikoy. I'm going to put the spellings in the video. But we headed across the river on the ferry, which
on the Asian side.
Yeah, to the Asian side, from European to Asian side. And I think that was something that all of us wanted to do, like to do that crossing, because of the significance throughout history that passage has had. We headed to a coffee shop that Martel recommended. It's called Story Coffee, and it's one of the coffee roasters that buys from ATH. We had a great little breakfast.
Yeah, it's coffee and a cafe. Really a small menu, but really good food, breakfast food.
Unfortunately, the owner wasn't there. He was out of town. It's an American owner, but he was out of town. He and Martel have a good relationship, but we didn't get to meet him. However, the staff there, Turkish, very cool.
Really nice.
All the menu items were Western or American breakfast items. Most of us had the California burrito, and a couple people had pancakes. I think good food though, great coffee, good atmosphere. We walked around a little bit on the Asian side, just kind of to and from Story Coffee, and got to see that. It was so relaxing. The vibe was very different, I think, from the European side.
Yeah, it's good to experience both, kind of just get an idea.
Yeah, next time we go, I think I'd like to spend a little more time on the Asian side.
So that's our time in Istanbul, and now our next destination is heading to Beirut, Lebanon. Yep,
that's right. Well, so final thoughts on Istanbul. What are your final thoughts?
It actually surprised me. I guess living in the Middle East, I thought that Istanbul would have more of a Middle Eastern feel, but you get some of that, but you also get the European on either side, really. It's actually just like a really big city kind of feel. People are nice. It's easy to get around. There's a lot of English there. So, yeah, I was surprised. What about you?
Yeah, totally agree. I think the media has distorted my perceptions of what Turkey's going to be like. And I also have a distorted idea of what Lebanon will be like, so hopefully that won't that won't ruin the trip, or it won't be like the way I think it's going to be. But yeah, I think Istanbul's really cool. We've been to Ephesus before, Kuşadası, Ephesus area, and didn't really enjoy that so much. But Istanbul has been absolutely amazing. So on a scale of, let's say, 1 to 10, how much would you want to be an expat in Istanbul?
7.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think before going there, I probably would have said a 4. I think in my mind, I had some ideas of what it was like, and it surprised me, and I liked it. I think it would be very easy to be an expat there.
Okay. I think for me, it would be an 8. I agree with the points you made. I think I push it to an 8 because we do know people there now, and with Martel being there, I think it would be cool to have kind of a couple friends just as soon as we move in. Yeah. So I think it's a little higher for me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always easier if you know someone there.
All right.
Okay.
On to Beirut.
Stay tuned.